Alright, kids, gather around. It's story time. So I told you I got this new job. I'm working it, and I love it. Still love it. Still absolutely love it. I told you guys I was working with a girl. Now, before, when I told you that, everything was fine, right? Not long after I had started, the other guys in the shop began to kind of pull me aside to just kind of complain about the girl. And I am the type of person where I'm on everybody's side, at work especially, until I'm given a reason to not be on their side anymore. So, me and her, we were fine. And then this whole kind of thing between her and the other guy kind of came to a head. And he kind of made a complaint. I got involved, as in I was standing there working, and then he looked over at me and went, "Andy knows. Andy, come here." And so that's how I got involved. And I said, "Yeah, she's got a little attitude. She's kind of a pain, but whatever. I don't give a shit. You know, I've dealt with worse people before. I've still dealt with worse people before." But you know, it begins to wear on you after a while. Getting ahead of myself already. So we all kind of got pulled aside the next day and kind of talked to, or I think it was the same day. We all kind of got pulled aside. I got pulled aside, and they're like, "All right, so here's what's going on." I'm like, "Look, dude, I don't care. I'm like, whatever the fuck it is. I didn't want to be involved in the first place. I don't want to be involved now. All I want to do is come to work, do the best job I possibly can, and go home. I don't want to do anything else. I don't want to be involved in the fights. I don't want to be involved. I'm like, I don't want to socialize with any of you. Not because I don't like you, but because of exactly this fucking reason. The more we socialize with each other, the more fucking we get personal with each other, the more annoyed we can wind up getting with each other. I don't fucking want it. No, I don't want any of that shit in my life. I've dealt with that shit too fucking much. I'm done with it. I don't care. Just everybody leave me alone, let me do my job. Oh, I fucking what? So I got involved, and then I kind of immediately said, "This is what I think, now leave me alone." Right? Then one day, what it was, but she seemed to be in a particular fucking mood. And I, same as I always am, I woke up tired, fucking went to work tired, tired all fucking day until around noon, 1 o'clock, and then I kind of woke up, and then I just wanted to go home after that, like the same fucking day. She had a little bit more, like, she can't speak to another human being without injecting just a little shitty attitude. You know what I mean? Like, she's just got this way of talking to you that, you know, kind of talking down to you, and like you're stupid. And if only you would just fucking not be stupid, then perhaps I wouldn't have to talk to you at all. Like, she's kind of got that going. And she's not my boss, she's my coworker. But she micromanages me like she's my boss. She's my micro coworker. I can't do anything without her fucking looking it over while I'm in the middle of doing it and correcting me as I go. Whether or not I know to do the shit or not doesn't fucking matter. She will tell you to do something as you're doing it. As I'm putting something down right here, she'll say, "Hey, go ahead and put that down right there." And I'll be like, "Yeah, no shit." And fuck. You know what I mean? And for whatever fucking reason, I don't know why, she decided she was going to do it all fucking day long. And she just hammered me. And enough of it was shit that she didn't need to fucking tell me that I got pissed. She put me in a bad mood. She continued to drive me after that. I got even more angry, and I went in and I said, "I'm not making a complaint. I'm just getting fucking fed up with this shit." I'm like, what is with her? What is with her fucking attitude? What is this shit? Is this like the special way she's treating me because I'm new? Does she have to be this way? Is she fucking, like, what the fuck is wrong with her? And I kind of went off. And my bosses were like, "Yeah, it's a problem. We've been dealing with her for forever with this. It's just how she is. We all just kind of ignore her and do our job. And I'm like, is she fucking in any way in charge of me? And then, no, she is not remotely close to in charge of anybody. So I'm like, all right, fine, you know, whatever. It's just, God damn it, like, I don't need her every 5 minutes telling me what I'm fucking up. Especially when I'm not even done to the point where I've made any fuck ups yet. Like, so that happened, right? Since that, like, the next day, like, I think they must have said something to her, because the next day, she just was, any possible way that she could just be fucking obnoxious, she was just going to do it that day. And that included a constant honking of the fucking horn of her tow motor. Up and down the main thoroughfare. Just fucking being obnoxious as fuck. And one time she let out a particularly loud and sustained blast as she was coming right by me. This is a dick move. I don't know if you know this, but it kind of works the same way for driving cars. If somebody's walking in front of your car and you decide to lay on your fucking horn, that's a dick move. If you're driving on a tow motor and as you're driving by somebody, you decide to lay on the fucking horn, that's a dick move. You're being an asshole. Now, I don't know if she knows that she's being an asshole, or again, that's just who she is. I have no clue. Seems like that's just who she fucking is. Nevertheless, so she comes blaring by me, and I gave her a really fucking dirty look. Ever since then, she doesn't speak to me. She doesn't speak to me unless she's telling me I fucked something up. The only time she ever talks to me is to correct me on something. Again, whether the correction is merited or not. The other day she said, you know, when you make up a partial box, it would be really nice if you would write the number on it so that we would know how much is in the box. And I said, yeah, that's why I did. If you look right there, you'll see it says 48. Because there's 48 in there, not 60. And she goes, oh, well, you put it on the back. And I'm like, yeah, because you always put the lesser weight boxes on the back of a skid. It's kind of the way it's done. For weight purposes, right? If you're driving a tow motor and you put your forks in the fucking skid and you pick the shit up, you don't want all the weight to be on the fucking back because it's going to fall off the tow motor. You want it to be on the front so it falls against the tow motor. Right? So the light box is going back. That's fucking warehousing 101. It's some basic ass shit. But she's only been doing it for a year. I've been doing this for the last 20 years of my life. Half of my life, almost. I've been doing this. Since before she was in high school, I've been doing this. She's been doing it one fucking year at one fucking place. So, that shit annoyed me. But, again, whatever. I don't care. She's an asshole. Whatever. I know she's an asshole. I'm going to expect her to do asshole fucking things from here on out. And I'm also going to expect there's fuck all that can be done about it. Because she's just an asshole. Like, we're short-staffed. There's a lot of fucking things going on. There's nothing just going to be done about it. It's just, we're all going to have to suffer until we can figure out what the fuck's going on, or until she fucking grows up finally. Don't know. So today, she didn't have anything to critique me on that I had fucked up. Because I didn't really fuck up anything today. And I believe the embarrassment of so much correcting me on things that I didn't need to be corrected on because she just was lazy and didn't pay attention. Like, there was enough of that, and I gave her more than enough attitude back whenever she would do that dumb shit, that I think she had decided that she was going to not just not bother today because I don't know if he's done it right and I don't care enough to fucking actually pay attention. And God knows it's dangerous for me to assume things now, even though it doesn't matter when you're assuming things, you know, it's still the same. Nevertheless, so she didn't critique me on any of my work today. I had perfect work today. However, because of the fact that I do not honk my horn every 2 feet like she does, that became the constant form of criticism today. You know, you should really be honking your horn when you're driving up and down the lane. And I go, no, I shouldn't. And I fucking drive by. Right? Like, I would correct her. She would tell me to do wrong things on the tail motor, and I would go, no. And because I'm like, I'm past fucking with you. Like, I don't care anymore. Like, her usefulness to me was extreme for a very long time. I used her for a resource on how to fucking do the job right, because I don't want to have to do the job twice. Right? And then it became, oh no, don't bother to ask me questions anymore. I'm just going to watch you like a fucking hawk and make sure I get my nose in everything you do. You're never going to have to ask me another question again. I'm going to be there whether you want it or not, and whether you need it or not. Fuck off. Like that became the thing. So I don't ask her questions anymore. But now I'm learning the job well enough, I really don't need her anymore for anything. So now I just kind of wish she'd leave me the fuck alone and just stop talking to me. Because I don't like her personally, because again, I only discriminate against one type of person. Assholes. If you prove yourself to be an asshole to me, I'm not going to talk to you. You know those people that go, I make fun of you because I like you. If I didn't like you, I wouldn't make fun of you. I'm like that a lot. But the way that I kind of work is, if I make fun of you, it's because I like you. But if I don't talk to you at all and ignore the fact that you exist and like won't look at you, that means I don't like you. And that's how I'm treating her. I don't look at her. I don't talk to her. I don't start conversations with her. She'll tell me things and I'll go, okay. And I'll fucking do whatever she tells me to, okay. Okay. Right, whatever. I don't care. And I'm trying my best to keep my attitude out of my voice when I talk to her. But there's cracks in my patience. And so shit is seeping through. I can't help that. I just can't. If she wasn't so shitty with me fucking always, then I wouldn't be shitty with her the few times that I am. Nevertheless, so because I was getting constant berating today about not driving, honking the fucking horn constantly as I drive up and down the main fucking aisle, a short lesson on tow motor driving for those of you who don't know. There's a standard way to do it. The reason why there's a standard way to do it is because sometimes you leave one warehouse and go to another warehouse, both of which you're driving tow motors in. It's always convenient for the new place to not have to go through all the effort to retrain you entirely. So there are standardized ways of doing things. Now let's say you have a warehouse. The warehouse is going to have a main aisle. They always do. It's the aisle that everybody drives up and down. They're usually right next to the docks where we load the trucks. Right? That's usually clear all the way down the whole length of the building. Everybody takes that because they take that fucking main road to get up and down the other lanes, right? So, whenever you have a main thoroughfare, which is always, you should always expect there's somebody driving that main thoroughfare. That way, people don't have to constantly fucking honk. You honk every couple of lanes just to let somebody know, yeah, I'm still coming down this way in case you were wondering. Or, like if somebody's in front of you and they stop and they block the whole fucking lane, maybe you give them a courtesy burp, like, hey, I'm still working, you know what I mean? Like that kind of shit. If somebody kind of, goes to walk out in front of you, you honk at them. So, if they're walking forward and looking behind themselves, you give them a little honk so that they know, hey, you're going to die. And then they go, oh, I should probably look the direction I'm walking. Yeah. So, that kind of shit. That's when you honk in the main thoroughfare, when it's necessary. However, if you're coming out of a lane into the main thoroughfare, there's 3 things that you should always do. This is standard practice. You honk your horn, slow down and stop, and then look both directions before you enter into the main lane. Right? Like, this is the way you drive a tow motor. The main lane, you honk when you kind of need to. Otherwise, you should rest assured in the knowledge that everybody else that has had standardized training, they're going to believe when they're coming out of lanes, the most dangerous part, when one tow motor is coming out of a lane, you don't fucking rocket out of the lane going full speed, because you're always assuming there's somebody coming. Stop, you honk. Anyways, so because I was constantly getting pestered today about my honking etiquette, I went up to my boss and I said, hey, actually, I went up to the general manager before he left. I said, I just want to ask you one question real quick before you leave. Am I required at this company to honk my horn every 2 feet as I go up and down the main thoroughfare? And he goes, no. And I go, okay, so that is not part of our training? And he goes, no. And I'm like, okay, well then I would like to have that not constantly told to me all fucking day long, that I need to do that by coworkers. And he's like, we're going to have another meeting tomorrow to talk about all of this. He's like, because I'm getting yelled at by him. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, I don't know what to tell you, man. I'm like, whatever. And then I went into like my actual boss, my actual supervisor before I left. And I was like, I just kind of have like a question. I'm like, do we have like actual tow motor training that we do? Or is it just take this test, watch this video? And he's like, yeah, it's pretty much kind of it right now. And I'm like, we don't do standardized training. Like we don't have people to train people how to drive tow motor. And I'm like, well, okay. I'm like, what? Because, there's a lot of different ways that the tow motors are being driven, and a lot of people think that everybody should drive the tow motor the same way that they do. And I drive the standard tow motor way, like the way that everybody's actually supposed to be driving the tow motor, because it's how you learn to drive when you learn how to drive the tow motor. Like, so I'm like, all right, well, look, I'm like, I'll throw this out again. Once upon a time, I was train the trainer certified. It's not that hard to become train the trainer certified again. I just have to have somebody that is capable of giving me such certification, which now that I know all we do is watch a video and take a test, I'm not entirely sure if any of you can actually do that other than to just kind of Joe Biden it in and go, man, you're certified now. Like, so I'm like, whatever. I'm like, I used to be able to person that could teach teachers how to teach other people. So if you ever would like to use my expertise in this area, you know where I work. I'm available all day long. Like, and he's like, well, I'll let him know. He's like, you let him know too. And I'm like, I'll let him know. But, but they are working on like a training formula, because they're wanting to get into ISO 9001, which I still just think is a fucking scam. It's just a fucking scam. Whatever, they need to get in on the scam too, because everybody's in on the scam. It's the same kind of scam as you have to go to college and you have to get a diploma or you'll never get a good job. It's a scam. You don't really need to. You can still get a pretty damn good job if you don't have a diploma. I'm pretty much living proof of that, but nevertheless, you can still get a pretty good job if you don't have a diploma. You're just not going to get, the suck your soul out through your fucking asshole jobs, where you're living and chained in a cubicle for fucking 9 hours a day or whatever. Fucking, yeah, you don't get those kind of jobs. You get fun jobs like driving a tow motor. But nevertheless, it's a scam. ISO 9001 is a scam. Maybe someday I'll go into why I think ISO 9001 is a scam, but just rest assured, it's my firm belief that ISO 9001 is a fucking scam. But they want to get into it because it's how you get business, and that's why it's a scam. So they want to get into it. And part of the ISO certification is you do what you say and you say what you do. You have to make up all of these directions for how you do things. All of these standardized, this is how we do this, and this is the process that we use for this across the board. If there's any variations, they're noted here, and this is what it looks like when there's variations involved. And like, you have to lay everything out. It's all work instructions and shit like this. And then the real hard part is you have to actually continue to do all the fucking work instruction stuff. Well, going into ISO 9001 certification, they're going to have standardized training for the tow motor, and they're going to have training manuals for the tow motor and all sort of work instructions for how you train people on the tow motor. And this is how you work on the tow motor, blah, 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 blah. So now we're starting to develop all that kind of stuff because we need to. Seriously, man, it's like I'm a professional in the field, and I've been thrown into a fucking room with a bunch of kids that have taught themselves how to do shit, and I'm just fucking stymied. I'm like, all right, whatever. So, but I'll tell you this much: pretty much, no matter how this meeting goes tomorrow, I don't think she's gonna wind up liking me any more than she does right now, because again, she is on the wrong side of things, doesn't realize she's on the wrong side of things because she doesn't care if she's ever on the wrong side of things. It doesn't matter. No self-pride, no pride, no sense of self-worth, no self-awareness. So all that shame and embarrassment that she should be feeling from all this stupidity that she's making herself look, that shit just rolls off her back like water on a duck. So, something tells me this meeting tomorrow, I'm going to have to do a whole lot of, well, you understand that is not standardized tow motor operation training. And that is why we are not getting along, because I have had standardized tow motor operation training, you have not, and you're telling me that you want me to do things incorrectly. And I'm just going to refuse to do those because I'm not going to do shit wrong just because you want me to. Like at some point tomorrow, I think I'm going to deliver that speech. And, oh boy, we're going to have to see where it goes from there, because I ain't backing down on this shit. I don't know if any of you have ever watched the people being killed by tow motors videos, like the this is how fucking dangerous tow motor videos are. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen that shit before, but I gotta tell you, it's fucking eye-opening. All of a sudden, after you watch a couple of those, when you get on the machine, you stop fucking around so much. I don't know. It's weird how that happens. You see a whole bunch of people die doing the same thing you do every day, and all of a sudden you take it seriously. Weird, but nevertheless, I think I might deliver that fucking speech tomorrow too. I don't know. But yeah, one of those speeches, if not both, are going to be delivered tomorrow, and I don't think they're going to go over well with one person. I think everybody else is going to be sitting there going, and I think the other person is going to be just getting more and more fucking pissed as I talk. And oh boy, it's going to be the woman. Whoa. This is like, god damn it. And see, this is where the fucking problems come from. You know what I mean? We've got 10 fucking guys that work there. All of us have a great time together. We all get along, no problems. And then we've got one girl who is universally hated by everybody and who universally earns it on a daily fucking basis from everybody. She's just such a fucking asshole. It's like, why do you have to fucking be this way? It's what it is, like, if you want to get into the psychology of it, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's the same thing that I always go through every time there's a woman in the warehouse, except for twice. 2 times. I have worked with 2 women in warehouses that were fucking amazing. They didn't have the same I'm a woman hang-ups. They didn't do any of that fucking bullshit. They didn't push their not fucking weight around just to annoy people, just to see if everybody just lets it go so that they can then pretend they're somehow in charge. None of that bullshit. None of that shit. Came in, did the fucking work, went home. 2 women. She's not one of them. This new girl, not one of them. She ain't one of them. She's got to push her fucking not weight around so that everybody knows that she's not in charge, so that everybody can snicker behind her back about what an ass she is, pretending that she can just boss everybody around. But of course, we all just kind of go, okay, and do it anyways. But the only reason we do that is to get her to shut the fuck up. You women bring it on yourselves. If she just came in, acted like a normal fucking person, did the work and went home, you know, left the supervising to the supervisor, you know, and just fucking did her job and worried about herself like all the rest of us do, there wouldn't be these problems. She's been driving a tow motor for 1 year. I've been driving a tow motor for 20 years. She's never been properly trained. I've been trained to train people to train people. She's telling me how to drive a tow motor.